Vilppu. Welcome to number 3 of our drawing sessions. Of course, you don't have to watch me doing it, but going back over and redoing it, it really is helpful to use a timer to take and keep the things on track, keep the things going, keep it flowing. Good luck. First, before we get started here, what I'm doing is I'm working with watercolors. This is a Altoids can that's been made into a little watercolor set. And I just use regular watercolor. This is a water brush that I do. I actually take and do a considerable amount of my drawing, particularly traveling, working with a water brush. Okay, let's start. Now, here we go. You're going to see that I really don't draw any different. Same thing. Going through exactly the same steps that I go through whether I'm working with a pen or pencil. Okay, I'm going over the surface of the form. Then flow. Now, one of the things working with wash that you have the opportunity to take and use larger areas of tone right away to start with. Coming through. I need to get a little bit stronger feeling of the rib cage underneath. So just a matter of going back a little bit darker tone and going over the surface of the form. Okay. Now, you notice that again, just like in drawing in the pencil or the pen, my fingers don't move, it's my arm that does all the movement. Going through all the lines over the form. I'm not using any particular color, it just happens to be a dirty palette. Okay, through. I will often, even with the pen drawings, I go back in over pen drawings and add wash and tone to them. Through. Scapula. Head looking down. Just an indication of where forms are. Okay. Now, there's almost a variation on the last pose. Okay. Crossed. Stretching down. Feel the shoulder really lifting up. So I really push. Coming across. Go across the surface of the form. Feel the stretching of the rib cage coming down. Here, feel the pull, go across the sacrum. Feel the pelvis sticking out. Coming in, really strong compression taking place as that leg comes back. So as I come through, pull. This is going in. And in this case, I would probably use just a simple tone to indicate that leg going back. And then come through. That's one of the advantages working with the wash now, is that you have a lot more flexibility coming through. Okay. Actually, before we get going here, I want to take and I need to put one arm line here going through. Okay, now we got an arm. Okay, now let's carry this. Well, now we get started on the next pose here. Right through. There. You're really turning. I want to feel the pull coming across, going over the surface. Feel the pull in. Now, the other leg is really coming up. And we're coming across through. This is going underneath, so I'm going over the surface of the form. Feel the compression The shoulder arm is coming up, off, out. The other one is behind. Real, feel fitting in, breasts. Okay, that foot comes down, the other one's behind. So I would take and actually use a little bit, just a massive tone to take and indicate that. Come through, we can feel the volume here. Now I can go back in, a little bit of time, I can add a little bit more shape. Okay. Okay, now let's take another shot here. Get through. Now, feel the pulling down, the shoulder going over. Through. Artists in the past who have used this approach to really good advantage. Look at the drawings of Rodin. I did it a little differently than I'm doing, but the idea of using the wash is a quick means of indicating a gesture over the surface, through, round, and legs coming back. Yeah. This is a travel. This is a great way to take and capture just simple gestures of people. It's very convenient that you can take, and then you can come back. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm a little bit longer, so I can take and give a little bit more information as I'm doing the drawing. But I'm still through feel. Well, she's twisting, so take and come across form through. Pick up the sacrium, down, really pulling across. Really, it's a beautiful pose, a nice twist as we're going down. And feel the leg behind, feel the buttocks here. This one's coming through. I'd go over the surface a bit more. Now we can feel the scapula lifting up. And I can see where I needed to take and pull the head farther out. So I just do that. Arm coming down. And we feel the rib cage inside. So push this a bit more. Coming across. So leg going in, the other coming through. Now taking and pull, lifting up. Feel the ear. Okay, and through. Okay, now, so one of the things that I warn the students against. Now, I'm just taking and changing it because all I'm after is the gesture. But students are always taking and coming behind with an eraser. I basically, I never use an eraser. I'm not afraid to show where I have difficulties with something. And at the point, all you're trying to do is capture an action. You're not trying to make a perfect drawing, which I don't know what that is. Okay, so I just think, feel the action. Okay, now. Now thinking where the pit of the neck, feel the pull to the back. Actually, right away, I'm taking and going into the volume. And I'll feel the pinch coming across. And I'll feel the pull, compression, feel the shoulders pull back. Up, down. And it's coming across, and feel this pulling in. And where the leg. Okay, it's going in. Through. And the arm is coming through. Yep. One of the things about working with the wash or the brush is actually just I like the look of the drawing, the effect that you get, and to me it's a very appealing, even with all the irregularities that are created with it. The brush drawings have a very strong appeal. First of all, they really show the spontaneity of the drawing itself. You can look at the drawings by Delacroix, which start to give you some strong indication of what you can do with a wash drawing. Okay, I'm doing the drawing on the left. Okay, now through. Really feeling the turn of the figure. Really, you should really pull. I'm going over. Pressure, pinch, coming down across the back of the sacrum. And we can feel that leg going in underneath. Scapula of the arm is going under. The other arm is really raised up and through. Down. The head down a bit more, bending more. Okay, leg is going on here, a used tone going underneath. And pull through. I need to feel the compression. You got to put people sitting on things. And legs coming across. Through. Feel the scapula. Feel the scapula pull. And again, I would come through. Now, in doing drawings like this with a wash, I often will take and come back into these with a pen. Another artist to look at for wash drawings is look at the drawings of Rembrandt. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous drawings. Through, build in, across. Okay, now I would take and even start to add a bit more as I come through. Feel the compression coming in, come down, along the side. And pull out. Yeah. Okay. Now, feel the shoulder lifting up. Really strong twisting of the form. Through. Feel the pull coming across. And so I'm taking in, as I'm doing this, I'm trying to really emphasize that twist. So I'm coming through, pushing. This leg is going up, go over the surface, go in, come across. The other leg is taking in, coming down. So I follow the line, feel the flow, how the form goes back in. Feel the shoulders lifting, hands in here. The shoulders really high. And it's coming back down and push it down in. So now as I go back into this, I want to take and feel the pull. I want to get the rib cage now a little bit more. Go over the surface. Feel the scapula sticking out. Feel the rib cage underneath. Pull across the form. And you're pushing the stretching a bit more. Think of the sacrum through. And maybe exaggerate a little bit of the compression coming across her buttocks, coming up, going through, and to lift the ear down low, the hair up high, and we go through. Over, pinch, here I could use the wash as a way of helping to get a bit of the sense of the form spatially, come across real in. Okay, the drawing on the left. Now, or I should say the pose on the left. Okay, now as we're going over, okay, look through, feel the shoulder, and come across, really feeling the pull of the back, coming down, buttocks, we're going over the surface, come through. So as that shoulder drops down, I can just really just drop this in line, down, tone, feel the forms going over, across, go across the sacrum, come around, feel the build up. This is takes and goes in, so that arm would have to come over a bit farther, move the leg in a bit farther, take it come through, back down, through, and we come through, down, feel the foot. Okay. Now, scapula, feel the pulling coming behind, hand coming through, the other arm. So now I go back in with this a little bit darker to really show a little bit of the form. Feel this a little bit clearer. Feel the pull. Feel the way the pecs are coming across, or I should say the sternum teres major there. And we can throw in a breast even. Okay, coming across, pinch, through, over. The other arm is coming onto this. Say this is coming down, fitting onto the leg, coming behind. Now you can take, and here's where I would take and be dropping large areas of tone, coming through, again, and drop the side. Okay. Okay. Now, through really hitting this very quick with the brush, and then I'm going to take and add to this with the pen. So I'll come across the surface, feel the gesture, feel the pull of the shoulder, arm is going back down, through, over the surface, feel the rib cage coming across, and here I'll even take, and right away I'm starting out with some tone, get forms, pulling it through. A little different approach, dealing with the mass, through. And then I'll come into this with a pin. Let's get this arm up here, through, and we can drop arm and shadow coming in. Okay, now I'll work with the pen, back in. Often I would do almost the reverse. I'll start with a pen and then come back in with the wash. So through. I've got a strong indication of the form already, or the action that I did with the brush, so now I can take and hitting forms that are going to take and emphasize that action. Think of the rib cage coming across, the deltoid coming through out to the end of the ulna, through, arm coming across, Often I'll work back and forth between a combination of pen and wash, doing the drawing through. Again, this is a very, very typical approach to drawing, very traditional actually. Through. Through. In. Through. Crossed. The both wash and pen, particularly for doing quick drawings, are really advantageous because they have a sense of spontaneity about them that works well together. And through. Now, go across the form, feeling, feel the pinching, pull. One of the things that allows me to make such really fine lines with this pen is it has a super fine point to it, which is really not, I'm not sure if it's available in the U.S. I got it in Japan. They use this pen for writing. It's a really fine Japanese pen. It's made by Pilot. Again, it's the Namiki Falcon. Over. Pinch, pull over the surface. Scapula. Notice I'm constantly going over the surface of the form. Okay, I'm doing the drawing on the left. Now, I'll do this the same way. Coming through. And here I'm actually using tone on the outside. They're going through, coming across the form. In the corner of the form on the inside. So it's a little bit different, playing with positive and negative areas of atmosphere coming around through. In. So you can see using a negative space or shape as they come around through the form, dropping down. Again, very traditional. So many artists that you could look at with worked with the brush. Again, I mentioned Rembrandt, of course, Hokusai, Japanese artist. One of the first art books I ever bought was by Hokusai. And in fact, I just came back from Japan. I just bought some more. The idea of just feeling the flow of what the figure is doing, work positive, negative shape, going around behind. So I can do a lot with the brush and working with the forms that I can't do with just the pen by itself. So now we go back into this with the pen and through. Now, still focusing on the basic structure, but I got a good sense of the action already and the basic form with the brush using positive and negative shapes. More of an atmospheric type thing. Feel the pushing down over the surface. Through. Up. Oh, there we go. Make sure I got the ink in the pen. Since it's such a fine point, it actually, I tend to draw rather quickly moving my hands, so often the pen has difficulty catching up with my movements as far as the flow of the ink goes. Through. Yeah. Now, she has her hands up on a platform here, so we have to keep in mind that she's not going all the way down to the ground where her feet are. Okay, through. The brush allows me to take such strong lines because I've already got a very, very strong feeling for where the forms are. So I can take and pull a line. Now we can add a little bit of the sense of where the hair is pulling down. Now I'll go back in. I want to feel that scapula really pushing up. And go back behind here. Feel where the neck would be, the scapula on the other side. And a little bit more information. Now I want to feel the pull of your teres major, minor, the whole sense of the forms coming underneath. Pull through, feel the rib cage going over that surface, coming through. Now, one of the things is in doing it this way, I can take and actually come back into this again with more wash. Let's just take and see if we have enough time here. Through. Ah, there we go. Now this adds a whole new dimension to the sketch as I'm doing it. Through. The extra range of values that you create, and even the bleeding of the ink now creates a whole new sense to the drawing. Okay. Now that you've gone through and watched me doing these drawings, it's not magic, it's practice. It takes time, we have fun doing it again and again and again. This is a whole world of art that's available through the New Masters Academy. Just click on that button and go to the New Masters Academy and begin a lifetime of education that would continually be opening up in front of you as you're taking and going through all of these lessons that we present to you.